Right, I was just talking about like the worst sign that I've ever dated, and I said I was gonna talk about someone that I know. Um, and I just wanted to again mention that, when I talk, it's really, these are just my opinions, my perspective, which can go, I always try to see things from many different angles, so lots of different perspectives on things. And you don't have to agree. So this is not a video where it's like, she's right. I don't even know anything. I just know what I've experienced with people, because you don't know the people that I know, clearly. So it's like, they're just my opinions. I just share stuff because I wasn't always this person, and I know that it took solitude, okay, and you know, just constantly striving to be a better person and doing research and learning things about myself that has made me better, and that's going to continue to make me a better person. So I share it with others so that they could do the same. It really is that simple. So I'm talking about like the worst zodiac sign that I ever dated, while also wishing for them to understand and be better. So it didn't take me long, like I said, for me to realize that, you know, dating this Aquarius person was talking to a brick wall. Um, Communication wasn't there, so it's like we can't communicate, we can't talk about anything. You don't want to open up. Stubbornness. So I was gonna tell you an example, a story about somebody that I know who was married to a woman. What I noticed about Aquarians is like they love social interaction. So if you're not the type of person, I feel like they would do better dating each other. Love social interaction and stuff. And I guess I should say that wasn't the right fit for me. So I'm saying he was the worst zodiac sign that I ever dated because it just wasn't a right fit for me. I need to date someone who's secure, not insecure, and that I can communicate with, and it just wasn't that for me. So it wasn't a good fit. They're not really big on communication, and I noticed that like they don't like when you open up to them because they don't want to open up to you. It takes them like a long time to like trust people, and like like so many other things that happen. Lots of lies. The person that I know that I was talking about was married, been married for probably over 50 years now. This is a very older gentleman. Loves social interaction, loves being around other people, dominoes, the beach. And he was married and he built something really good for himself. You know, um, I feel like Koreans would also, they're hustlers. So they're good. Like, they make like good money. But his wife was a Leo. Um, I guess she didn't really get along well with him, and like when he tried to divorce her because he loved someone else, she wanted to get half of his assets, and that was like years ago, probably like 15 or so years ago, or maybe even more, because it's like you're just in a situation that isn't working out. But the stubbornness, I guess, which can be a good or a bad thing. Like the ones that I dated just weren't good for me. So I'm not gonna like bash. It's not me bashing. I feel like I always have to explain myself because I don't want anyone coming under here and saying this, that, and the third. Everybody's different. But anyways, in his case, it worked out because he was willing to just stay married while still enjoying his life. He just didn't give a fuck. It's like, you want to take half of my assets, not gonna happen. But missed out on love, I guess, because for most women, for the woman that he loved and that wanted him to get a divorce so that they could be together, was a lady of the church. And that was a deal breaker. You can't be with a man, be running a church, and he's still married to someone else. So he sacrificed love for money. Because, He just wasn't willing to share half of his assets with like this woman um, that he had children with. So I don't know. You tell me if that's a good thing or a bad thing. At the end of the day, I don't really know. I mean, like, that's the thing, you know, things can really go different ways. I guess he didn't love her enough. He was like quite older than anyways. And Aquarius men, they're just really just trying to have a good time most of the time, you know? They're not really, I don't feel like they're into all this. I don't know. He sacrificed love because he wasn't willing. That's how stubborn he was, even today. Still together. She still monitors everything he does, but he doesn't care. When he goes back home and she's not around, he has a good time. But I mean, when he was gonna get divorced, I'm sure he kind of thought about it like from every angle. His kids were already like much older. So really it's just like the thought process. At the end of the day, they may not be as bad as I'm thinking. Because as much as I talk and say stuff, I also clarify my thoughts by talking about it. This is kind of like to myself, but because I'm going to post it, other people are going to see it, creates dialogue, and they're going to be like, you know what? But like I said, the ones that I did, horrible. Okay, so really it comes back to that. They were not nice. But when you really think about what people do and the reasons why they do it, there's justification in it, you know? People aren't always going to be how you want them to be. And maybe that's something I need to realize. But communication matters to me a lot. So it comes back to knowing what I want to. So if I can't talk to you, if we can't have like a conversation, I can't deal with the fact that if I don't do what you want me to do, you're just gonna like neglect me, you know? That to me is super hurtful. So there are people that I guess can deal with that, dealing with a guy where you just do whatever he tells you to do because you're willing to do that so he can stick around. But for me, communication, togetherness, these things matter, and just doesn't work out for me. So the best signs that I've dated, Scorpios are nice. I feel like they're very big on, you know, doing activities with their girl, taking her out, introducing to people, you know, lovey-dovey. Leos are really nice too, in my opinion, as it relates to the type of person that I am. So to me, they're a better match for me. Okay? Keep that in mind what we're talking about. Virgos to an extent. But yeah, I don't really like air signs. They're just like a breeze, you know, passing through. Always trying to be everywhere all at once. So they're just not the best match for someone like me. And it's good to know these things. Again, zodiac signs are not the only things that make up a person. The way they grew up and all these things matter as well. And everything has to be taken into consideration. And for the ones that I talked about, the Aquarians, all those were taken into consideration. Just so we know. I didn't stop this video at all. I feel like I'm impressed with my talking skills, some of my rambling skills. Oops.